We are at halftime of the first game tonight. The Trojanettes are ahead of the Lady Raiders 36-26. It was 19-12 at the end of the first quarter. Barren County outscoring Hart County in the second period 17-14. We welcome you to the halftime report brought to you by Colton's Steakhouse and Grill. Colton's thanks you for your business. Colton's Steakhouse and Grill. We know what's at stake. Hart County in the first half scored 10 field goals. They hit 6 of 13 free throws, and they were led in scoring by Haley Sturgeon with 13 points. Hit 5 baskets from 2-point range. It was 3 of 6 from the charity stripe. Dee Bradley scored 9 points in the first half, had 4 baskets and 1 free throw. 2 points for Kylie Adcock, and went 0 for 2 from the foul line. Kenley Christie, 1 of 2 from the charity stripe for her 1 point, and August Neal scored 1 point on 1 of 2 from the foul line. Barren County in the first half, 9 field goals, 1 fewer than the Lady Raiders, despite the 10-point lead. And 3 of those 9 field goals were from behind the arc, all from Elizabeth Bertram. And the Trojanettes shot well in the free throw line in the first half, 15 of 19. So there were 32 foul shots attempted in the first half between the two teams. Barren shot well, though, 15 of 19. Elizabeth Bertram with 18 points to lead Coach Piper Lindsay's ball club here in the first half with those 3 People's Bank threes, a couple of 2-point baskets, and she was 5 of 6 from the charity stripe. Raven Ennis scored 6 points in the first half, a field goal in the first quarter, and hit 4 for 4 from the foul line. 2 free throws for Katie Murphy, those coming in the first period. A 2-point basket for Carly Delk, 1 point for Emma Hughes on 1 of 2 from the foul line. Liberty Rice scored 3 on a field goal and a free throw. 2 points for Macy Lockhart on a field goal and 0 for 2 from the charity stripe. Taylor Harlow scored 2 free throws in the first quarter for her 2 points. Eve Jackson started the ball game but has not scored in the first half. And the foul situation, there were a total of 24 fouls committed in the first half of play. 13 on Hart County, 11 on Barren County. And as far as the foul situation goes individually, Katie Murphy, Carly Delk, Eve Jackson, and Liberty Rice picked up 2 fouls apiece. Murphy, Delk, and Jackson sat on the bench for most of the second quarter. And then Elizabeth Bertram, Raven Ennis, and Macy Lockhart, 1 foul apiece. For Hart County, Kenley Christie with 2, Summer Phelps with 2, Katie Heath with 2, 1 each on Bradley, Adcock, Sturgeon, Chaplain, and Thompson, along with Neal. So the largest lead was 12. Right now it stands at 10 at 36-26.
You mentioned Hart County had 10 field goals. They got those 10 field goals on only 19 shot attempts. They did not hit a 3 in their 3 attempts at it. They shot 52% for the first half. They had 14 rebounds, but they did turn it over 18 times. 9 times in the first quarter, 9 times in the second quarter. So I guess you could say at least they're consistent at turning the ball over. But for us, we shot 21 times. We hit 9 of those for 43%. We were 3 of 7 from 3, also for 43%. We had 13 rebounds, so Hart County out-rebounded us by 1, 14-13, and we turned the ball over 15 times. Now, I'm not sure what our average is on the year, but 15 is what you need for a game, not a half.
Right.
And when you look at that stat alone and couple it with the fact that 3 of your starters had 2 fouls and had to sit out for a large portion of the first half, you got to really think that you're lucky to be up 10. So in a lot of ways, Piper's, I think, happy, but there's some things you go in at halftime and have to correct. One of the things that Hart County does is because they have the Adcock girl, the Sturgeon girl, the Bradley girl all averaging over 14 points, they put us in a defensive predicament because usually Elizabeth and Katie are on their best 2. Well, they're our 2 best defenders, so that means somebody else has to guard. Tonight it's been Raven that has to guard, and she's not used to stepping out and guarding somebody that can handle the ball as well as the kids from Hart County has. Because honestly, we haven't seen teams, a lot of the teams that we've seen don't even have 1 true kid that can handle the ball. Hart County really honestly has 3. When you have people that can handle the ball, you're going to have a winning record. That's why Hart County has the winning record that they have, because most of the time people have difficulty just getting the ball up the floor. So they pose some advantages that cause other teams problems. We hopefully can figure that out and answer some defensive challenges that we have, because we're going to need kids to guard at a higher level, and we're going to need kids to help as well.
Despite the schedule being short tonight, we do have a score update on the Coca-Cola scoreboard. Open a Coke and enjoy the game. Into the first quarter. Metcalfe County Lady Hornets 19. Monroe County Lady Falcons 17. And if you got anything, Robert, before we go to break here?
I haven't looked, so go ahead.
All right. Maybe we'll have some when we come back. Our halftime report's been brought to you by Colton Steakhouse and Grill. We'll return with the Trojanettes leading 36-26 over Hart County. This is Barren County High School basketball presented by Don Franklin Auto Glasgow on 103.7 Nash Icon. Back here in Munfordville, Jay Turner with Robert Bauer as we get set for the third quarter of action. Brought to you by Southern States Glasgow Co-op. Trojanettes going back with Elizabeth Bertram, Raven Ennis, Eve Jackson, Katie Murphy, and Carly Delk. And for Hart County, it's Dee Bradley, along with Haley Sturgeon. Going to start Marcathia Thompson and Kenley Christie. And also J.C. Guetta will start the second half. Jackson with it and gives it to Ennis. Turnaround shot by Bertram, an air ball, and it goes out of bounds.
Curley didn't try to save it. Maybe
she thought maybe it got partially blocked, especially because that's not a norm for Bertram to shoot an air ball. Dee Bradley with the basketball. Right side it goes to Guetta. Now Guetta will bring it back out and sends it to Sturgeon. Sturgeon now out top with it. Sturgeon back on the right side now to Christie. Christie out of the right wing, looking for Bradley. She comes back out to get the pass. Now Bradley goes back to the right side, gives it to Guetta. Guetta on the dribble, picks it back up. Jackson guarding her. Now gives it to Sturgeon. Sturgeon trying to make a move on Bertram, goes left of the lane, throws up the shot, too strong against the glass, put back up, foul on Jackson, and that's going to be 3 on Eve Jackson. And going to the free throw line for Hart County will be J.C. Guetta. 36-26 the score, free throw no good. She'll get one more. Jetta averages 3.2 points a game. Macy Lockhart back off the Barren County bench to replace Eve Jackson with those 3 fouls. Second shot is missed by Jetta. And the rebound to Raven Ennis. And here comes Bertram. Feeds it off down to Lockhart. She did. She traveled. Kind of lost her handle on the basketball.
Tried to put down a power dribble. Almost she put it down too hard and went through her hands.
So Hart County, that's another turnover for the Trojanettes. Working inside is Bradley, putting it up and drawing a foul from Katie Murphy, and that's 3 on her.
Barely played a minute, and now we have 2 starters with 3 fouls.
Yep. And so she's going to come out, and Liberty Rice will come in after the first shot from Dee Bradley. And the shot goes up. It's good for Bradley. She puts now our 10th point in the book. So Liberty Rice will have to handle a point with Katie Murphy on the bench for quite some time because it's 6:55 to go in the third quarter. Second shot for Bradley comes off, and Ennis gets the rebound. Elizabeth Bertram racing down the floor left side, gets tripped up, goes to the floor. No call?
No call on anything.
My goodness alive. I can't believe that.
We'll have to write it down as a turnover.
There's a collision. That's going to be an offensive foul. Liberty Rice stood there for 2 minutes waiting for that to happen. And Sturgeon picks up her second. Team's first of the second half.
I don't know what that was.
Well,
we'll just mark it up to a bad play, and we'll play on.
So, Lockhart with it right side, gives to Rice. In the middle goes to Ennis. Sends it over now to Bertram. And now a nice pass down into Ennis. Couldn't handle it, though. And we're going to get a foul on Ennis.
The ball was deflected, and Raven was trying to go for it, and they say she was a little too aggressive. So already 3 fouls on the Trojanettes, and we have just played a minute and a half.
Got to remember we're out of region tonight.
Yeah, that never
much of a plus for us. Bradley gives it over to Jetta. Jetta sends it back out now to Sturgeon. Right side, Christie. Christie dribbling, waiting for Bradley. Now Rice is out guarding her. Played 2 minutes, and it's a 9-point lead, and Hart County throws it away. It's got tipped over the head of Sturgeon and out of bounds into the Hart County bench.
That's number 20. The 20th turnover for the Lady Raiders.
So Liberty Rice will set things up for Barren. Goes in the middle and knocked away. Stolen by Bradley. Tried to go in the middle there to Ennis. Bradley spinning, going into traffic, puts it up and in.
Pretty good move.
Not bad for an 8th grader. Nope. She's got 12 points. Behind the back dribble, Bertram. Now they cut the lead to 7. Barren County had a 12-point lead, 36-24. Here's Delk with it. Throws it back across and over the head of Ennis and out of bounds.
Guess what, Jay? It's number 20 for the Trojanettes.
Oh, my goodness.
20 turnovers for Hart County, 20 turnovers for us.
Gee whiz.
Tells you how clean of a game it's been. You add that to
the number of fouls we've had in the ball game.
That's right.
Had 24 in the first half.
It's a good over-under. Are we going to get to 100 on that?
I don't know. Here's Christie with a basketball to the right elbow. Gives it over to Sturgeon on the right wing. Guarded out there by Bertram, and she almost threw it away. And chase it down was Jetta. Jetta dribbles to the top of the key. Now looks left. Sends it off to Bradley. Bradley now on the move against Liberty Rice. Gives it off in the corner now to Jetta. Back out now comes to Sturgeon. Now Sturgeon angles off right. Cuts back left. Trying to go inside. May have pushed out Bertram there, but no whistle. Here's Bradley. Sending it back out front now to Christie. Christie going right side. Off to Thompson and back out now to Jetta. Gives it to Bradley. Bradley thought about the 3. Now gives it back off in there to Christie. She drives it right down the lane and banked it in.
We've got to do a better job packing it in. They're not a 3-point shooting team.
Underneath, here's Delk putting it up and in. And a pass from midcourt as Carly Delk gets her second basket of the night. Here's Bradley, off-balance shot, walked with it, no whistle. Did get the rebound. Delk gives it off to Bradley. Bradley fires it down to Delk, feeds it to Ennis and lays it in. And Raven Ennis off of the Edward Jones Financial Advisor Jamie Harris assist from Carly Delk.
60 seconds.
It is 40-31. Barren County back up by 9. So we get a full timeout, People's Bank timeout. The People's Bank in Glasgow, your local community bank working for you. Did you get any other scores, Robert?
Yeah,
I
had some first quarter scores at halftime. Russell County was leading Cumberland County 14-5 at the end of the first quarter, and Edmonson County girls were up 10-8 over Franklin Simpson also at the end of the first quarter.
Russell County, Cumberland County, that's a district game.
Right. Russell County actually has one of the better records in the region.
They do.
You look at it, they're third. they're actually first overall in wins. If you look at it, they're 18-3.
Mm-hmm. And we play them on February 11th at Barren County this year.
That's right.
Busy week for basketball. Tomorrow night we'll be down in Logan County. And then Friday night, Glasgow comes to Barren County for big district doubleheader. And Saturday we go to Todd County Central. We're going to travel from one end of the region to the other this year. Go to Todd County Central Saturday. We go to Clinton County to close out the regular season on February the 20th.
Yeah. From Clinton to from Albany to Elton. That's right.
Bradley will bring it up for Hart County. Now Bradley goes left side to Adcock, who's back in the ball game now for Coach John Bird. Bradley, top of the circle, right side over to Sturgeon. Now Sturgeon curls into the key, gives it over the left side to Adcock on the wing. Adcock putting down the dribble. And can't penetrate, gives it back to Sturgeon. Now Sturgeon feeds it over to Bradley. Bradley on the right side. Now trying to penetrate with the basketball, gives it to Adcock. Adcock steps back, 17-footer, left side of the free throw line. It goes in.
She's getting some good minutes for them tonight after coming off an injury, missing, I think, the last 3 games.
40-33. Barren lead is at 7. Here's Ennis in the lane. Jumper, no. Rebound, Delk back up, no. Rebound, Macy Lockhart. Back out to Ennis from 12 feet away. Drills it.
They stay with it.
10 points for Raven Ennis. 42-23. Here's Bradley with the basketball. Stops and pops. 3-pointer from the left wing. No good. Ennis with another rebound for the Trojanettes. Sends it down the floor in a reverse up. No good for Rice. And rebound. Sturgeon is going to be fouled by Liberty Rice, and that will be number 3. So now the Trojanettes have 3 players with 3 fouls. 4th team foul on Barren. Now Emma Hughes has to come in for Liberty Rice.
Probably not too early to look at this. Hart County shoots 65% from the free throw line as a team. So overall, not a terrible free throw shooting team. Somebody you don't want to put in a line to make up some points.
Christie probably the worst free throw shooter on the team at 52%. Here's Sturgeon driving and throws up an off-balance shot that's no good. Got away with a walk. Lockhart with a rebound, gives it off to Bertram. Bertram back and forth in the dribble. Left to the lane, goes to the basket, puts it in.
One of the first times she's been able to get to the hoop tonight.
20 points for Elizabeth Bertram, which almost matches her average on the season at 20.4. Barren County back up by 11, 44-33. Sturgeon cut off by Bertram. Gets it back to Bradley. Now Bradley, left side of the floor, looking. Throwing it back out now to Adcock. Adcock, as Thompson sets the screen for her. Nothing happened there. Sturgeon back to the left side to Bradley. Against Hughes, takes it one-on-one, puts it up. It is no good, and a foul on Hughes. Her first, team's 5th.
Using her hands way too much. We've got to slide our feet and let them come into our body instead of putting our hands on them first.
So Bradley at the line for 2 shots for Hart County. And the first shot goes up, it's good. Gives her 13. She matches Sturgeon for scoring honors. Thompson checks out. And it is Heath back in for Coach John Bird. And Bradley back at the line for one more. It's in the air, and it's good. So now she leads the team in scoring with 14. 44-35. Barron's largest lead has been 12. Just can't seem to get further than that. And here's Lockhart. 15-footer right side, no good. Battle for the rebound, and it's ripped away. Hughes puts it up. It is going to come off the rim. Another offensive rebound. Well, they've called the foul on Raven Ennis. Delk got the rebound, and they say that Ennis cleared out. I don't know.
Not sure how.
Well, you ready for this? Number 3 on Raven Ennis.
I'm not sure how that happened, but we'll have to.
The officials, the fouls are a little uneven here, 6-1. Here's a pass down underneath, and they're going to look like Bertram got all ball from here. The official on the back side of it.
We've got to adjust. We've been playing this quarter for 6 minutes to get 7 fouls. Our kids just have to adjust. We know if we touch them pretty much right now, it's going to be a foul on us. So we need to adjust the way we're playing altogether.
Sturgeon connects on the free throw. She's got 14. So that matches her average. Bradley, of course, has 14. That matches her average. With 1:38 to play, Raven Ennis comes to the bench now, and Taylor Harlow in for Barren County. So here's the free throw. It's up and it's good for Sturgeon.
I think we can withstand this 2 minutes with those on the bench with 3 fouls. We'll put them back in to start the 4th.
Lead cut to 7, 44-37. Bertram with the basketball on the right side of the corner goes to Lockhart. And 3 seconds in the lane.
I think he was counting by 2s.
I believe it was Lockhart, or it was Harlow in the lane too long.
22 turnovers through not even 3 periods of play.
Hart County's ball with 1:27 left here in the 3rd quarter. 7 fouls on the Trojanettes, 1 on Hart County. Here's Adcock on the left side at long range. Sends it back out to Sturgeon. And now Sturgeon gives it over to Bradley. Bradley curls, gives it back over to Adcock. She heads into the paint, throws up the shot, and it's going to drop off the rim. Delk had the rebound, got fouled, no call. And now we're going to get a traveling violation on Hart County. 1:02 to go here in the 3rd quarter. And Bertram with the basketball will bring it up. 57 seconds to play. Bertram crosses the midcourt line against Sturgeon. Cuts back left. Feeds it in there to Lockhart. Lockhart really looking for the pass and then threw it away. Got tipped away. Here's Bradley. Bounces across the lane. Shot put up and in by Adcock. Now it's down to 5 at 44-39. Bertram trying to penetrate down the lane. The shot won't go, but a foul called on Hart County. That'll be just their 2nd one of the half.
Called it on the floor.
Number 2 on Adcock. Bertram gets it in the corner to Delk on the left-hand side. Feeds it back to Bertram. Finds Harlow underneath. Puts it up. It won't go, but a foul called on Hart County.
Good look. Just bounced it right over top of the cylinder.
That's 2 on Bradley. And 3 on the Lady Raiders here in the 2nd half. Taylor Harlow at the line. Perfect. 3 for 3 now on the night for the freshman. 45-39. 2nd one in the air. Good again. 46-39 Barren. 27 seconds to play. As Sturgeon will set it up here, and they just hold it for 1 shot. And goes left side with it to Bradley. Bradley will bring it back out front. 14 seconds to play. Bradley, guarded by Hughes. She might try to take her one-on-one. Takes it right side, throws it over to Adcock. Adcock curls into the paint, throws up the shot. It rolls off the rim. Rebound by Delk, and that'll do it for the 3rd quarter. Well, after 3 here in Munfordville, it is Barren County 46, Hart County 39. We'll come back for the 4th and final quarter of this one after we take this time out. As you're following Barren County High School basketball, presented by Don Franklin Auto Glasgow on 103.7 Nash Icon. Back with the fourth quarter, brought to you by South Central Bank. Small enough to know you, big enough to help. Jay Turner with Robert Bauer. Greg Bowen in the studios tonight at Nash Icon. Underway here in the fourth. Barren County 46, Hart County 39, and they have the basketball. As they give it out to Adcock. Adcock, top of the circle. Trying to drive inside against Ennis. Puts up the shot and banked it in.
Actually outscored us by 3 in the fourth quarter and keep that going.
And then here's a feed down to Delk. Bounces across the lane. Here's a shot by Ennis short. Not sure why Delk didn't go up with that shot right there. And then Hart County throws it away. Right into the Barren County bench. Yes, Hart County outscored the Trojanettes 13-10 in that third period of play.
Both teams hit 4 field goals on 9 attempts for 44%, but we turned it over 8 more times in that third period.
5-point Barren County lead. Largest has been 12. Of course, we've been on the bench most of the night with foul trouble. Delk is wide open, throws up the shot, and dropped it in. It went high off the rim. It fell in. Didn't know how open she really was there.
That's right.
48-41. Bradley penetrating down the lane. Her runner, no good. Rebounded Delk. Outlet pass comes to Bertram. Bertram angles off to the left side. Had it poked away from behind by Bradley. Kept up with it as Adcock. Didn't have any communication out there. And they'll get rid of it out to Christie. Back out now to Adcock. 7-point lead for the Trojanettes. Here's Adcock driving again to the basket. No good. Ball tapped over. Jackson grabs it out of the air. And she'll bring it up court. Stops at midcourt. Lobs it over to Murphy. And a diagonal pass down to Ennis. Turns, spout away. Put it up and in.
Good job by Raven. Realizing where she was, backing out from underneath the rim and getting an angle at the glass.
And her 12th point of the night on the People's Bank shot. 50-41 the score. Bradley over the right side now to Adcock. Adcock will bring it back out. Gets rid of it to Christie, left of the circle. Hands it back to Adcock. Now trying to penetrate, but can't go. Here's Sturgeon with it. Sturgeon brings it to the top of the key, cuts back to the left side, tries to split the defenders, throws up the shot and got it to go down.
Wow. She's a tough player.
Yep. And only a sophomore. She's got 17 points tonight. 50-43. Katie Murphy feeds it there. Turnaround shot by Delk is no good from the free throw line. Adcock with the rebound for Hart County. Adcock driving, goes under, puts it up and in.
She looks awfully fine to me coming off that injury.
Really. And now they've cut it back down to 5 at 50-45. 30-second timeout by Coach John Bird. 5:44 to go. Well, just not been able to pull away in this one.
I'd like to see us make a little bit of an adjustment and move somebody else to the top of that key right there. All night long, whoever's caught it there hasn't really done a terrific job of facing up. You mentioned whoever caught it there a couple of times. Didn't realize how wide open they were. We put Elizabeth there. We get her the ball. She can actually work and score and put some points on the board. So let's see what we do. Put Elizabeth there, put Raven there, put a scorer there, because that's the part of their zone right now that's really the weakness. And to be honest with you, we're not having a difficult time getting the ball there, but we're having a difficult time scoring.
Hart County's been averaging 63 points a game in the last 4 ball games. Barren County's been averaging almost 67. Still a chance for it to get into the 60s with 5:40 still to play. Murphy left side of Jackson. Now she'll lob it back to Murphy. Back over to Jackson. Had it tipped away. And loose ball scramble for. Going to be a jump ball. Possession arrow back to the Trojanettes.
I like the change. We did put Elizabeth there like I kind of mentioned. The problem is that takes one less ball handler around the perimeter. So throwing it around, we got to be careful and get it inside like we need to.
Bertram will toss it in left side of the basket. Comes out in the corner to Ennis. Now Ennis trying to force it in there to Bertram, but the ball's kicked.
Had 2 players in the same position. That made them very easy to guard.
So Raven Ennis will toss it in. Comes out to Katie Murphy. Long bounce pass back to Ennis for 3. Got it!
A good shot.
Raven Ennis with a People's Bank 3-point shot. She has scored 9 in this half, 15 for the game. Bradley trying to dump it down. It's deflected, stolen by Ennis. Back up to 8 for the Trojanettes at 53-45. Bertram fires it over to Murphy on the left side. Fires it back over to Jackson right of the lane. Trying to go up with a shot is blocked, but Bertram got it. Gives it back to Jackson. Bounces it out and is stolen away. Bradley had it for a moment. Now here comes Sturgeon with it. Drives against Murphy. Puts it up and in. They're going to call a blocking foul on Katie Murphy. And that is her 4th. And the team's 8th. Basket by Sturgeon. That gives her 19 points tonight.
You're at home, you probably get a charge, just to be honest with you.
And the free throw is on the way, and it is good for Sturgeon. She is 5 out of 9. Actually, 6 for 9 tonight. 53-48. Back down to 5 again for the Trojanettes. 4:42 to play in the ball game. Jackson bounces it out to Murphy. Back over to Jackson to the right side. And then Bradley reached in. Going to be called for the hold. Her 3rd, team's 4th.
Still a long way from the bonus, though.
Yep. They've let the clock run about 7 seconds off. But who's counting? Murphy driving, gets around a defender, threw it up over the rim. Ball got tapped back to Murphy on the inline, and she threw it off the leg of Christie and out of bounds. So Bertram will toss it in, right of the bucket. Down the corner, Delk. Now Murphy. Goes left side. Annis again for 3. No, it's an air ball. Chased down by Thompson for Hart County. Gets with the basketball up court. Sturgeon. They got a 2-on-2 break. Here's Adcock going under. Shot blocked by Murphy and out of bounds. Wow, playing with 4 fouls.
That's a gutsy play. 9 out of 10 plays like that tonight have resulted in a Trojanette foul.
So Hart County's basketball. Christie will toss it in. Comes right in there to Sturgeon. She missed the shot, but a rebound. We're going to get a foul call on the Trojanettes. Could not get on the board. And it's on Bertram, and that's her 3rd. 9 fouls against the Trojanettes here in the second half. And Christie at the line, who's the 52% foul shooter, 1 of 2 in the first quarter. And she missed it. Rebound to Katie Murphy. Here's Eve Jackson with it, right side, back to Murphy in the middle to Delk. Over the left side goes to Ennis. Trying the back door. Here's Jackson going up, shot block, goes back up. This time she's fouled. Foul is on Christie, her 3rd. 5 fouls on the Lady Raiders here in the second half. Eve Jackson's not been, or actually has not scored tonight. And she shoots 53% from the line, and the first one is good. 54-48. One more for Eve Jackson. It's in the air. Good. 55-48 Trojanettes. 3:40 to go in the ball game. Bradley with the basketball. Now Bradley trying to make a move right side and throws it off to Adcock in the corner. Adcock will get it back out to Sturgeon. Now Sturgeon hooks it back on the left side to Thompson. Thompson back out to Christie. They try to go in the middle there, and Adcock with the basketball. She got away with a walk. Bradley's got it back out front, left side. Back to Adcock. Adcock around the top of the horn. Wants to drive with it and gets rid of it to Thompson. Throws up a shot that's no good. Adcock got the rebound and lost it out of bounds, so Barren County will get the ball with 2:56 to play.
Hart County has stayed in the game because they have not turned the ball over here in the second half near as much as they did in the first. Only 6 combined turnovers in the second half after 18 in the first.
Jackson back to Murphy. Back over to Eve Jackson to the right wing. Now lobs it back over to Murphy in the middle of the Delk. Lobs it over the left corner. Dennis feeds it down in there to Bertram. Steps back. Wanted to shoot the three. May have got away with a walk there. Cross-court pass. Jackson. Three ball. No good. Rebound to Christie for Hart County. Gives it to Adcock. 2:30 to play in the game. Adcock drives it right down the middle of the lane. Puts it up and in and one.
The official that called it may be a foul, but the official that called it was barely crossing half court right there. I don't know how he saw the foul.
Going to be 4 on Raven Ennis. 10th foul of the second half against the Trojanettes. So now Ennis with 4, Murphy with 4, Bertram, Jackson, and Rice all with 3 fouls. And it's 55-50 with 2:28 to play. Shot goes up. It is no good. Murphy gets the rebound. Murphy. Right side over to Jackson. Jackson feeds it to Delk. Free throw line. Here's her shot. It's coming off. Rebound to Bradley for Hart County. Chance here for them to cut it to 2 on a 3-point shot. Takes it down the middle of the lane. The floater's no good. Came off the front of the rim. Ennis with a rebound, and she's called for an extra step. Picked up her pivot foot. And Coach Piper Lindsay calling for a timeout, talking to other officials about something out there. I'm not sure what it is.
Well, I know what she's talking to him about, exactly what I mentioned. The fact that he called the foul
from behind the half-court line.
The other volleyball line almost. But we have to understand right now that we're in a tight game. It feels a little bit more comfortable because we've had the lead 10-12 the whole game, kind of seesawed back and forth. But we can't turn it over unnecessarily when we have a 5-point lead with 2 minutes to go. We got to take care of the basketball. Anything, if you run 30 seconds off the clock on your own side of the floor and miss a shot, that's fine. Just don't get a turnover and give it right back to Hart County with a little bit of momentum right now.
Yep.
We've missed our last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got us missing our last 6 shots.
Hart County's basketball underneath their hoop. They lob it in, tap back, right back, and put up and in by Christie.
That was a great play coming out of the timeout.
Tap to Adcock. 55-52, closest Hart County's been in a long time. Here's Jackson trying to drive. They force it in there to Delk. Back out to Murphy. Swings it left side. Back to Delk. Back over to Jackson. Back out to Murphy. She's going to fire it up for 3. It is off the back iron. And the rebound comes off to Bradley. Bradley on the move for Hart County. Feeds it to Sturgeon. She lays it in. And it is a 1-point ball game with a minute and a half to play. 55-54. We got a foul on the other end. Charged to Hart County. And that'll be the team's 6th. Adcock, her 3rd.
I just don't like our zone offense right now. We don't have kids in position that need to be there to score it. We've got kids in the right spot, just not scorers where they need to be.
Comes down the corner to Delk. She'll give it out to Jackson. Feeds Bertram down low. Delk with a hook shot. No good. Rebound going back up. Bertram, she's fouled. A minute 22 to play. Barren County with a 1-point lead. Thompson called for the foul. That's number 2 on her. 7 of the Lady Raiders in the second half. And Elizabeth Bertram at the line, where she's 5 out of 6 tonight. First one is good. Gives her 21. She scored 18 points in the first half. Only scored 3 here in the second half.
She hadn't had any looks at all. They've covered her up, and we've not getting her in the position to score.
That one's too strong. Rebound to Thompson. And now a chance here for Hart County to tie or take the lead on a 3. Bradley with the basketball coming out top. Right side it goes to Christie. And now Christie turning with it. Jackson applying pressure. Needs help and has to call a timeout.
Hart County's next to last.
1:04 to play in this one. Barren County 56, Hart County 54. And both teams in the bonus. Of course, Hart County's in a double bonus. The Trojanettes have 10 fouls. Hart County has 7.
We do have 3 made out of 4 free throws, but by my kind of makeshift stat, we've missed our last 8 shots. And in that scenario, we have taken 3 threes. So again, up by the margins we've been, even though it's dwindling, threes aren't necessarily what we need, especially by a few kids that aren't known maybe for their three-point shooting. So situational basketball becomes very big, and really it becomes big in tight games, obviously, but when you're not in a lot of tight games, you don't know what that looks like. So you look back at our schedule and just realize that a lot of the games that we played, we haven't had to win by close margins. So it's not going to hurt us at all to be in this tight game, close situation, and hopefully we can pull it out here over a minute to go.
Hart County's got a little momentum, though, seems like, for the fans across the way with 1:04 to play. And it's their basketball. Chance here for them to tie it. Bradley lost the handle, but it comes out to Adcock. And now we're going to get a foul.
Well, I don't know why she did that. It would look like she was intentionally trying to foul, like we were down 2 instead of up 2. And they'll put their best free throw shooter at the line.
That's full on Elizabeth Bertram now. So we've got 3 starters with 4 fouls. And Adcock at the line. And her shot goes up, and it is rattling and coming off. She's 0 for 4 at the stripe tonight. 82.5% foul shooter. 58.2 seconds to play. Barren up by 2. Adcock, second shot on the way. No good. Why does she get 3 shots? Why is she getting 3? That was not a shooting foul.
So I guess somebody had a lane violation. But
gee whiz, I don't know what's going on.
I didn't see it.
This one goes up and it comes off. Rebound to Katie Murphy. 55 seconds to play. Barren up by 2. Ennis with the basketball. They spread the floor here. Jackson back out to Ennis. Ooh, dangerous pass was deflected but caught by Murphy. And now Murphy getting some pressure, gives it back to Jackson. Jackson now in a trap. Whistle, and what do we got? Timeout?
Oh, we called a...
I thought you was calling a foul.
He did. Oh, wow. A closed fist is a foul.
What's a closed fist?
A closed fist is a foul. He called the foul and then turned around to see Piper was about 2 steps behind him trying to call timeout, and he changed his call to a timeout. I've seen just about everything in the, what district is this?
18th.
I've seen about everything in the 18th district since we've been coming over here that we can possibly imagine, but I don't know if I've ever seen anything like that. Regardless, we have the basketball still up to with 38 seconds left. So it's a good timeout by Piper. I'd have just as soon had the foul and shoot the one in the bonus, but she gets a chance to draw it up. I think we need to bring Elizabeth out to handle the ball. Elizabeth's kind of hiding in the corner over there because she's being chased, and then they're isolating her. We need to move her up, make her another ball handler, give her an option, and make sure we get our kids that can put the free throws in at a high rate in a position to get fouled, because you know they're not going to let us throw the ball around very much. Elizabeth shoots 77, Ravens shoot 72. Those are our best 2 free throw shooters out on the floor, and that's the ones we need handling the ball.
Right. 37.8 seconds to play. Barren County 56, Hart County 54. And we'll have the basketball. Raven Ennis will toss it in. And they get it into Jackson. Jackson putting down the dribble. Well, they're really putting the pressure on, and a reach-in foul on number 10. That's Sturgeon, her 3rd, team's 8th. And Eve Jackson's a 53.3% foul shooter. She did hit a pair of them here in the 4th quarter.
By percentages, that's probably the play that Hart County wanted, to foul Eve.
And so Eve Jackson at the line, puts it in the air. It's no good. Rebound to Ennis.
Bring it back out.
Now Jackson with it again. Back to Ennis with 28 seconds to play. Jackson with the basketball. Looking. Gets rid of it off to Murphy. Another timeout by Piper Lindsay.
Still got 2 left.
With 22.5 seconds to play. This will be a 30-second timeout. With the People's Bank timeout. The People's Bank in Glasgow working for you. This has been one wild game tonight, folks.
Another good timeout. Situational basketball. It looks like our kids were starting to scramble a little bit out of position, and Piper wanted to use that timeout to get them back in the right spot, get them organized, and make sure she knows or they know what she wants them to do.
Coca-Cola scoreboard update. Open a Coke and enjoy the game. After the third quarter, it's Metcalfe County Lady Hornets 55, Monroe County Lady Falcons 44. That game in Tompkinsville tonight.
I'm not sure your description of this game is completely accurate. Wild is true, but I don't know where.
Wild and wacky.
That's right.
Ennis gets the ball in play out to Bertram. Bertram stepping, giving it back to Ennis. Throws it down to Jackson. Lost the handle, but got it into Delk and back out to Murphy. 13 seconds to play. Comes to Bertram. We're going to get a foul called on Thompson. Nope, it's on 32. That'll be Bradley. That's her fourth. Number 9 on Hart County here in the second half. And Bertram will be at the line for the 1+1. Elizabeth Bertram tonight is 6 of 8 from the charity stripe. And here's her shot. It's up. Too strong. Murphy trying to get the rebound, and that should be a foul. Oh, they've called a jump ball. Girl came over the top of her. And it's going to be Hart County's basketball, the alternating possession with 8 seconds to play.
I get it pressure just a little bit here.
As the ball comes into Bradley. Bradley works against Murphy, takes it underneath and put up and in by Thompson.
Timeout. We had to come up and guard and help because Bradley beat her defender. When we come up and help, we left them wide open underneath the rim. And is that her first point of the night?
It is. So we've got a tie game with, well, they took some more time off the clock, looks like.
I think they were trying to add to it and maybe put the wrong time on it. We should have a little over 2 seconds. But we'll have to come the length of the floor to do it.
56-56. We got 2 seconds to play. Barren County will have to bring it the length of the floor.
We want that 4 seconds back now that the scorekeeper just inadvertently ran off, don't we?
It's more closer to 7. 56-56.
Just start turning over. Right now it's almost better just to play for overtime.
Yeah.
Even though we're in severe foul trouble.
I know. Murphy with 4, Bertram 4, Ennis 4, Jackson with 3.
You don't want to turn it over underneath the rim.
No.
Just get the ball in.
Katie Murphy will toss it in. And they've got Christie on her. Will they throw it long? It comes into Ennis. Going to have to hurry. Desperation throw at the horn. Air ball. We're going to go to overtime. Overtime in Munfordville with a 56-56 ball game. And the Trojanettes deeply in foul trouble.